10 tips every business owner should know, and that includes you. Let's go. The ones at the end are gonna bend your brain. You're gonna love it. First, some LLC tips. You can form LLCs out of state using a registered agent. There's a lot of places online, right, that you can do that. But you can also buy shell corporations, which are older. So if you don't want to wait around for your LLC to be 2 years old, you can go buy what's called a shelf corporation and buy them online. So you can have an instantaneous 2-year-old business, which helps you get approved for stuff. And 3, if you want to start your own business, start your own LLC, and you want to work fast, get your EIN number today, just go to the Secretary of State website and self-file your LLC in your home state, because you can get your electronic documents same day. Then you can go to irs.gov and get your EIN number that fast, which means you can go get your Dun & Bradstreet number that fast as well. Little bonus 1.5 is Dun & Bradstreet will also give you your Dun & Bradstreet number same day if you mark that you might eventually apply for a government grant. They'll just, instead of making you wait 2 months, they'll give it to you right now. Everything can be outsourced. That's number 2. See, as a business owner, you're good at a few things. You should not have to be good at everything, and trying to learn everything will slow you down. So if you want a graphic designer, web developer, in my Airbnb business, a housekeeper or handyman, you can go to places like Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, Upwork, any place like that, and you can, or Fiverr even, and you can go and find people who are experts at what they do, and you can pay them contractor piecemeal. And that's a great way to grow your business without having to learn everything. It takes us to number 3, which is understanding the difference between contractors and employees. It's by far cheaper to utilize contractors to grow a business because you don't have to pay half of their FICA and their social and all that stuff. But there's a very fine line here, and you need to understand it. You cannot tell a contractor how to do their job. You cannot tell them when to do their job. There's so many things that you cannot do. Like, you can't give them company equipment. You have to lease them the company equipment. They have to pay for it, even if it's $1 a month, because contractually you cannot provide them the tools that they use for free to do their job. Otherwise, they become employees. And if you don't do this right, you end up in a workers' compensation or unemployment snafu, and you might end up paying a lot of money on the back end. Contract law tips is number 4. It pays to be thorough, not smart, when you do contract law. See, you don't have to know all of the English, all of the jargon. A lot of contracts are written in legalese because it makes it easy for lawyers to charge you money for it. But it's the intention of the contract that really is what is argued in court. And so even if you use plain language, layman's terms, and you write out that contract to have clear meaning, even though you didn't say it eloquently, that contract will stand. And other tips for contracts is there's something called via coactus, which is under duress in Latin. And if somebody tries to get you to sign a contract where you don't have time to review it, and or you're signing it against your will because they're like coercing you into do it, like fear of loss, like they're threatening you could lose money right now if you don't sign this contract, you can just write VC next to your name when you sign, which is a self-testimony that you were under duress at the time of signing that contract. So if you ever have to take that contract to court later, you can dissolve it and say, this was not willfully signed. I was actually about to lose $20,000 in a shipment, and this person hit me with this wild contract last minute that I couldn't read, but in order for me to get my shipment within the next few minutes and not lose the 20 grand, I had to sign it right now. You can give that testimony, and courts will break that contract for you. Business partners, tip number 5. You do not need business partners. A lot of time people pick up business partners in business because they wanna have the confidence that somebody else can help them out and grow the business with them, where people feel incomplete. But if you went back to my you can outsource everything thing, the whole point of this is we just wanna know that somebody else can do something that we cannot do. And so if you ever consider taking on business partners, you should first always imagine what it would be like if it goes wrong. Many people that I know who start businesses as newbies and then have business partners, they end up getting screwed by their business partner. For example, my father went to school with the girl whose father started Dungeons and Dragons. Well, the guy who started Dungeons and Dragons had his friend as a business partner, and that friend was smarter than him and ended up stealing the whole entire company and driving the founder of Dungeons and Dragons back into poverty. See, this can happen to you if you're not careful. So if a business partner does not bring something that you absolutely cannot get your hands on without them, like proprietary information, best practices, some sick deal flow that your business needs, then don't partner with them. And this includes a fundraising tip. Number 6 is that when you fundraise, you should always opt for debt over equity if you are sure about your business. Now, you need to be objective with yourself. Everybody, the cute baby syndrome, a lot of business owners, they love their businesses. So it's like, how pretty is my baby? Now, if you are a brand new business owner and you really know jack about business, then yeah, maybe taking equity is cool, because if you strike out, there's not gonna be any debt. But if you form your business the right way and negotiate it the right way, debt is always cheaper than equity, because if you ever sell your business or you keep it for 30 years and it's profitable, the person who just gave you like $50,000 for 10% of your company gets 10% of that profit for life, and that gets expensive. So don't take equity if you can take debt. Businesses build credit so much faster. This is number 7. See, once you get that EIN number and the Dun & Bradstreet number, you can go to seton.com, seton.com, and they're gonna give you something called a net 10. This is an example of a trade line that you're instantly approved for with that one company. You go to a different company that's ULINE, that's uline.com. You make a purchase with them over 50 bucks or over 100 bucks, and then next month you can make another purchase, but it's on what's called a net 30. And net 30s are how businesses track each other for credit. And the tips to growing your business credit fast is to pay that net 30 off as early as possible. See, how your score goes is how many days before your net 30 expires did you pay your debt. So if you paid 20 days in advance, you are going to have a really high score, and you can build your score up in just as little as 3 months. So go and do that, and then go on Amazon.com and get the Amazon Prime Business Card. And this might be your very first non-personal guaranteed business credit card that you can get. Once you start getting these non-guaranteed personal business credit cards, you can go to places like Chase Bank and get an Inc. business card because you have proof that somebody else is trusting you. And that's how you build your credit. And I would say slowly because everything requires patience, but this is far faster than trying to build your personal credit. There is a point where you don't need a personal guarantee anymore. As far as lines of credit go, Chase Bank is one of the strictest companies for getting credit, but if you revenue more than $3 million a year, you can get a business line of credit that is non-personal guaranteed. If you're thinking of starting a business and you're a little bit lost in the woods, number 8, the tip is to understand where most businesses come from. Over 80% of all founded new fresh businesses are founded by someone who is servicing the company that they used to work for or competing with the company that they used to work for. See, when you're breaching into the unknown, you want to retain as much expertise as you can. Imagine it as a Venn diagram. This is everything you know. And if you go do a new opportunity this way up here, you have nothing in common with that opportunity. But if this is everything you know, and this is your new business, there's a lot of overlap there, right? So my first company, I sold newspaper subscriptions, and that was the first one I succeeded in. The one I failed in, I tried to sell teeth whitening kits, and that went okay, but I didn't understand anything about import-export, and they froze my teeth whitening kits at customs, and that's how my company went out of business, as I ran out of product, because I didn't understand how to import stuff. I was like 22 years old. 23 years old. It was kind of rough. So try to form a business that overlaps in your expertise or that you are servicing the company that you used to work for, because now you have what's called intangible assets. And let's put that on number 9. Intangible assets are anything that your company can have that you can't really put on a balance sheet. It's not like a couch or a car or a crane or actual cash, right? Those are tangible assets. But intangible assets, you need to write all these down. Do you have trade secrets? Do you have proprietary methods of doing something no one else can? Do you have patents? Do you have intellectual property? Do you have a client list, people that you can sell? Do you have access to human resources like employees that you can hire, that leaving a company? Do you have influence like this YouTube channel? I've got what you would call a favor bank with people who have helped them build their businesses, and if I ask for a favor, they'd be glad to return. These are examples of intangible assets. Write every single thing, study intangible assets first, and then make a list of everything that you have, because this can help you pitch for money if you ever want to pitch for money, but this also can help you understand that you're fighting with more than just the dollars in your pocket. Generalists are more successful on average than specialists. This is number 10. If you're going to start a business, you need to widely encompass all the people that work for you. If you're a subject matter expert in technology and you start a business, you'll become the chief technology officer in that company. That's pretty damn cool for a tech business. That's about as high as you ever want to go. A CEO is the person that runs the whole board of the C-suite, right? Chief marketing officer runs all of marketing. The CEO is technically higher than the CMO or the CTO or the CFO. So that's why the generalist that runs the whole panel of like specialist C-suite dudes, that's why that guy's the rock star that makes it into Forbes magazine, because generalists are the ones that piece everybody together. You can trust specialists to give you the information that you need to run your company, and the ability to trust those people without questioning them, without micromanaging them. Don't be a helicopter mom. This is how big companies are able to act scrappy, because the CFO says, this is what we need to do with our cash, this is what we need to do with our debts. The technology officer says, this is where we're weak against our competition and where we need to innovate. The marketing officer says, we've got a gap in the market that we can take a lot of revenue from if we market appropriately, right? And then the CEO is like, okay, how do we put this all together? See, that's why generals are at the top of the military. That's why CEOs are at the top of the business. Do not think that you need to be super smart in any one specific category or all of those categories. Jack Ma doesn't know much about much, but he hired a lot of good people and now he runs Alibaba. This channel teaches how to Airbnb, but I'm a business owner with 4 successful startups. Follow for more tips on how to Airbnb, how to grow a business, how to be a leader. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the other side.